I feel my BF is taking advantage of my kindness. I confronted him. AITAH. I am not the original poster. That is you, left in the lurch. She posted in our AITAH. I added a few extra paragraph breaks for readability. Mood spoiler. She lost 180 plus pounds for the new year but needs to realize that. Less than. Original post. December 30th, 2023. My boyfriend, 33 per meter, and I, 38F, have been dating since summer 2021, and since then, he has stayed at my apartment every day and every night. He owns his own home less than a mile away, which he said he purchased for his 3 roommates who were looking for a place to live. He only charges them $300 or so a month. Out of the goodness of his heart. I have only been there twice for house parties, which I essentially invited myself to when we were getting to know each other. I never have asked him for money. Not for rent. Not for utilities. Not for the groceries I always have to buy. He never goes shopping for any food or household supplies. 2 separate instances I asked if he could get toilet paper. Once he bought a chintzy 4PK at the gas station he was already stopping at, which I am assuming is just to tide us over until I get a more realistic package. He has IBS and goes through a lot. And the second time he brought in a big garbage bag of almost empty rolls from his bathrooms at work, which they save. He doesn't cook and said in the past it's not important to him. Or he doesn't think of it. Yet will certainly eat the food I buy and make. For the most part one was more than happy to provide. But as time goes on I feel like I'm carrying the mental load of living together by myself. My apartment is in disarray and I can never get it under control with only me doing any work. I have mentioned parts of above to him over the last year. And sometimes it would result in him sheepishly doing 1 sink full of dishes and leaving the rest for me. Or when I tell him he has to figure out dinner for us for 1 night out of the 7 because I'm working late. That means he's DoorDashing us something at 8 p.m. It's things like that make me start to resent him and kill my attraction. It hurts my feelings. For such a nice guy, how can he be so thoughtless? It feels thoughtless to me anyway. I told him tonight I feel it would be best if we return to our old living situation. Him at his home, and me alone here. I expressed I can't, or won't, handle all the responsibility of our lives co-inhabiting. I also said it really hurt my feelings that for Christmas he got me Drano, which he waited to give to me on Christmas. Meanwhile the sink has been backing up for a month. And a set of ladles. He didn't say anything. He just sat there and stared at me. I asked if he had anything to say? Any feelings about it? He said he didn't know what to say. I felt insulted. There are far too many women in the same situation. I'm finding as I read Reddit. Are all men truly just one-track minded? They only think of themselves? Why don't men just take the initiative to help their partners without having to be given lists? Or told what to do? Or nagged about it? Relevant comments. In response to a now deleted comment. I understand that could certainly be affecting him. We'll never know though. You've got to beg him to go to any doctor or dentist and then there's no follow-up. Can lead a horse to water. You got yourself a garbage day, bro. It's funny you mention that because when we were getting to know each other he reassured me he wasn't a low-tire dude. Does he actually own a house? He does actually own it. I guess I should be flattered he'd rather spend his days with me. That's how I took it. There is no consensus bot on AITAH, but most comments were pretty clearly NTA. But she's an asshole to herself. Update. Same post. Same day. So since this, he was still in my living room for a few hours. I've been in bed COVID. And laying there I got miffed. I walked back in and asked twice more. You have nothing to say? No words. No, I'm so sorry you feel that way. What can I do? Nothing. No emotion. I can't believe it. This was supposed to be my best friend. I told him we're breaking up and he needs to go home now. I'm honestly really surprised and hurt by his lack of reaction. I should have known. Update 2. Same post. December 31st, 2023. I packed his things and he picked up this morning. I asked him again if he has any feelings about this and he was silent. I'm sorry, but I started to cry because it's just so hurtful. He said he was blindsided. Then silent. I said, that's all I get after 2.5 years? In tears. And he just said, bye Lauren, like he always would. I needed him to hear me. Or understand where I was coming from, but I guess he doesn't. Or doesn't care to. He's alright with just walking away with his things. With no conversation or words from the heart. That is the most painful thing out of all of this. His talks of getting a house. Getting married. Why bother if you're just going to throw it in the towel when me supporting us gets overwhelming? For those of you who asked why I kept this going for so long. We met when my father died and grew close. I wanted to have him in my life. It was positive and a breath of fresh air from my former partners. He was a kind, sensitive, thoughtful, caring guy when I met him. He even on his own volition promised me he wouldn't be a low-tier dude like the others. I don't know if he's on the spectrum. Many of you asked. He's joked about it in the past. He's not a bad guy. I guess he really just doesn't care, and I've got to accept that and try to learn from where I went wrong in the beginning. Relevant comment. Sounds like he was looking for a reason to leave. I think that's the case. He was just waiting or looking for a way to end our relationship. I would have preferred to have known. Update 3. Same post. Same day. You know what? I painted him in a bad light. Sure, these things happened. But ultimately he's a good guy. Maybe we're just not a good fit. Perhaps I went about things in the wrong way by escalating it so quickly. Perhaps I'm too quick to blame and not good at communicating in our relationship. Either way, I got the space I so desperately wanted. I appreciate all of your input today. The response was astounding. I guess the takeaway to my failed relationship is to be sure to check in with your partners. Where they're at, if their needs are being met, if there's anything you can do, if you're both still on the same page. Editor's note. Please remember the no brigading rule. Do not comment on OOP's posts or message her. Also remember to keep things civil. I'm baffled that she took the time to write an update defending the guy who got her Drano for Christmas. The bar is on the floor. Please pick it up and it put somewhere higher. I really hope she stays away from him. And doesn't keep heading down this, ultimately he's a good guy, path. Oops sounded kind of shocked Pikachu during the breakup. And I am not in any way suggestion that the BF is anything other than garbage tier. But it does sound like he never hid who he was. It sounds like he was that way from the beginning and she's somehow only now suddenly realized it. If I had any coffee I would have spit it out when I saw that she put up with it for 2.5 years. I suspect that Oop has some things she needs to work out in therapy for why she accepts such treatment. Drano for Christmas? Question mark. Question mark. Meanwhile the sink was backed up for a month? What a prince. He is not a good guy. He didn't even buy toilet paper. What type of disgusting person brings used toilet paper rolls from work? He was using her for everything while subsidizing a home for his friends. I really doubt he owns his place unless it's like a rat's nest. I can't wait for the update that her hobosexual ex is a poss. And she still had to pack his bags for him. Unbelievable. Drano for Christmas to help with your own IBS problem is WILDDD. Keep doing favors for people who don't reciprocate in kind. Assume they mean well and are nice with no evidence that they actually are. This is how you get mooches. Some men are just empty. Damn. That mood spoiler certainly fits. Yeah. This is a case of throw the whole man out. She'd be better off getting a dog or a cat. Honestly. She'd still have to do most of the same things. But at least a dog or a cat gives good companionship, love and loyalty in return. Just reading update 3 makes me cringe. This girl needs therapy, not a relationship. I painted him in a bad light. He's a good guy. It's all my fault. Woman facepalming, medium light skin tone. I think it's easy sometimes to confuse quiet for nice, which is what appears to have happened here. She just hasn't put it all together yet. I've been there before. They aren't talking out their ass so they seem nice. Then as time goes on they are still quiet and you release it's actually been helping hide what an ass they really are. I hope Whoop sees this and realizes that no, the dude is not a good guy. Good guys don't treat their partners like this. How low does your bar have to be to call this guy a good guy? So he doesn't hit you, hasn't actively tried to sleep with your mother, and doesn't borrow large amounts of money to spend on other people. He has to be a good guy then. Seriously. How can you say anything beyond he's okay based on what you described? Treat yourself better. There's no way he owns that other house and rents it cheaply to his friends. That is a classic "don't embarrass them. I'm too humble" line, which usually only works in sitcoms, and even then not for long. He found a sugar mama, but couldn't do a damn thing worth the sugar. This man is no good and Op really should stay away from him. She'll 100% take him back. And he'll continue to do nothing in the relationship. 100% this guy was homeless and lying to her about the roommate situation. My ex-BF was so cheap he brought home leftover toilet paper rolls. Is barely a step up from my ex was so cheap he reused dental floss. I think the ex-BF was too chicken to break up with her, so he became a cheap mooching slug. He didn't want to be the bad guy.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.